Thank you for joining me today. I thought it'd be fun if we take a good look at Transformers Generation Siege War for Cybertron Trilogy Classic Animation Megatron. So let's get this guy out of packaging. And here we have Megatron right out of packaging, or should I say Classic Animation Megatron. And let's bring him up a lot closer because this guy is just... the paint job they did to this from like Optimus, but the cell shaded aspect of this coloring, like he's the cartoon version of Megatron popping right off of the screen from the 80s, and not only that, but from the video game Devastation. This is a gorgeous, just from the little paints that we have here. I love that Decepticon symbol. The little details of the blue, red, yellow. We still have some of that coloring right here. Same here on the side. Same here on the other side there. Head sculpt. Head sculpt is absolutely beautiful. You can see that, like, almost, I wish they did a little bit of a difference in the mouth so it kind of pops out more, but you can see that he means business. The paint is amazing, and the plastic to this feels really good. Let's get down to articulation. Let's see, his head can turn. Let's see, not 360, but you know, we can get some decent turns out of the head. Not so bad, but it does have a little ability of going up and down. The arms can rotate 360. They can be brought out that way. We do have, I would really call that a elbow swivel and a elbow joint. No wrist articulation. We do have a bit of a waist swivel. If we actually bring up the backpack, I mean, you can rotate that 360, no problem. Let's see the legs. We do have a bend. Oh, that's a nice bend at the knee. That's really nice. There is ankle articulation. You can bring back the leg that far back. He can bring his leg that far up. And if Megatron ever got in the mood, he can split. So, some decent posability you can get out of this Megatron. Megatron does come with his two accessories. So we do have his cannon and we do have his sword. So with this cannon, it also has that same cartoon shading that we have here, and that really does pop, especially when we attach it to Megatron. So when we have that, that really helps make the figure pop even more. And with his swords, I guess other cannon, it does have a little bit of that paint job going on there. That's really nice. We don't have anything on the blades. That's a shame. But at least we got it on that part. And he can definitely wield his sword. So Megatron right now is definitely ready to take Optimus on. To transform Classic Animation Megatron, we're going to have to remove his sword and come back to that later. We're going to straighten out his arms, just like so. Now we want to bring in his fists, just on that side just as well. We want to bring up the backpack, and we want to bring it all the way up. And I suggest at this point kind of push Megatron's head down. And now we can come to these treads, and we want to bring them out. Okay, and now this part we actually want to bring in. There we go. But there is a hole right there on that side there, and we have a peg on those side right there, so we want to place it just like that. Okay, we want to bring these shoulders and we want to bring them out. There we go. Same thing here on the other side, just bring that out. And now we want to take this whole part. If it wants to do it for me, come on. We want to push that all the way back in. There we go. Once we have that in, we want to make sure we come to these parts, bring them down, just like so. So now we can bring the arms in, and that peg will fit in that hole. So we have that. Now we want to bring our attention to the legs. We're just going to bring those arms up so we can turn at the waist, and we're just going to bring that down. We are going to come to these panels inside his thighs, and there is going to be a joint that we're going to bend right there. And now what we want to do, we want to keep that in place. So we're going to have to turn this all the way in, just like that. And then we want to bend this out a little bit so we can close up on that. We do have a hole, we have that peg, so we're going to line up just like that. Flip this open, bend right there. And like I said, we want to keep it right where it's at, so it's going to have to move right into place there. Bring it out to the side. We have that hole. It's going to fit right in that hole. Kind of bring the ankles in, make sure they snap. Bring in the heels into the feet, and the feet should collapse down that way. Now this is a great opportunity to bring in the sword. There you go. With the sword, we want to make sure it's like that. Make sure that we're placing it. We're going to place it right underneath. It'll fit right there. And now we have Megatron fully transformed. This is actually looking very beautiful, especially that the touch of the paints that we're getting here, really nice. I love the little attention to detail, really nice. The little paints here. The cell shaded aspect to this is phenomenal. This is really knocking out of the park. This is just as good as Optimus Prime. And he comes with wheels on his treads so he can actually roll, which is a nice touch. To transform Megatron back into his robot mode, we're going to have to remove the cannon. So we're just going to pull that out and place off to the side. We're actually going to come here to the legs. We're going to bend out, and we're going to bring this panel out. And we want to make sure that we place our thumb right there because we don't want that to move. And we want to make sure that this is coming out and turning the way that we need it. There we go. And close up on that panel. And we can bring out the foot if we want. And the heel. And then we have one leg done. So bring this off to the side. Swing this panel out, hold at the thumb, and make sure that this is swinging around where it needs to. There we go. Bring that out, close up that panel, get to the foot, and we're just going to bring out the heel. So now we have that leg done. We're just going to move this a little out so we can turn at the waist. There we go. We actually want to come here to the cannons. Split, there we go. We just want to get it out of the way, and we're going to take this opportunity. Let's move his cannon down so we can take these parts and flip them down. There we go. So now we can take this section and get it to come out. There we go. All right. So now we want to split that, bring this out. So now we have those holes and we have those pegs, and we just want to bring these in. There we go. I'm just going to make sure that they are closed in. There we go. Now right here, we're just going to take Megatron's head so we can bring it out a little bit more. There we go. Now we're going to bring in the shoulders. There we go. There we go. And now we're just going to bring down the backpack. and kind of straighten out his head. Get his hands out. And it's totally up to you, but I like to bend at the elbows. And now we have Megatron fully transformed back into his robot mode. Let's not forget about Megatron's sword. So now he is now fully complete. But I think it would be fun. Let's play a game of who has a better paint scheme. We have the classic animation, and we have the original Siege mold. Or we also have the Netflix Megatron. And here we have the Shatterglass Megatron. Now, let me know in the comments below of which out of the 4 you liked most. And here we have Classic Animation Optimus Prime stacked up against Classic Animation Megatron. And these guys look fantastic standing next to each other. My final thoughts. My final thoughts are this is a phenomenal Megatron because of that cel-shaded paint scheme that we have is just knock it out of this park. The joints, they're not too tight, not too loose, so it makes it fun to play with. Just everything about this figure is just phenomenal. They did a great job. If you ever get a chance of picking him up, I highly recommend you picking him up. You won't be disappointed. Well, with that said, I just want to thank you all for watching. If you can just do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button down below, let me know in the comments if you think he's shelf-worthy. And until next time, you'll be hearing me in the next video. Everybody have a great day!